Okay, so here's how to remove that 2 centimeter spacer, which is going to be that one, and we're just going to leave that 1 centimeter spacer. That'll bring you down, actually by less than 2 centimeters, it's going to bring down by about 15 millimeters total, so not a huge amount. So what you need to do it, you need 2 wrenches, a 4 millimeter Allen wrench like this, and then a 5 millimeter Allen wrench. I know you guys have one of these, the T-handled 5 mil. This one, the 4 millimeter, you can use one of the little L-shaped ones, it's fine. These are the 2 bolts that you'll need. I don't know if you have those. There's a bag of parts there that I know you have for the TM01. You might have them in there, but you also might have to go to the hardware store and get them. Length on these ones, it's 260 millimeters, so that's about an inch. So 25.4 millimeters is 1 inch. So, yep, that's what you're going to need there. So, starting off with replacing these guys, what you're going to do, you're going to take the faceplate off first. When you go to tighten that back up, that gets tightened down pretty evenly. You want to tighten them down basically kind of across from each other. And you want the gap at the front of this plate right here and the gap at the back of the plate down here to be similar, so you don't want it to be bottoming out anywhere. You're going to tighten that down to 7 Newton meters when you put it back together. 7 Newton meters is just pretty snug. Alright, faceplate's off. Now you can kind of swing the bar to the side. Now we need to take the head unit off here, this piece. And so this piece has 2 5 millimeter bolts that go straight down in there. And that's that little rubber plug. I don't remember if you have the rubber plug or if we still have a piece of electrical tape over it. But we're just going to take both of these off there. These ones, when you go back together, have to be really tight. Those are at 12 Newton meters. And there's no way you can fit the torque wrench that you guys have in there, so you're just going to have to do it by feel. And 12 Newton meters is really tight. Alright, so that whole unit's going to come off as one piece. You want to show it, Cody? Alright, so it all comes off as one piece. You're going to separate those 2 spacers. So that's the 10 millimeter spacer. That's the 20. The 20, that's the one that we're going to take out. Now we're going to put the whole thing back together using this piece. And as we use our shorter screws, as we sink those things in there, if you kind of take a look about how far that's poking out, right there. So it should be sticking out about 10 millimeters. So remember, these screws, if you need to get any of the screws, these will be the ones you have to get from the hardware store. If you get them, take the ones that you took out. Take these with you to the hardware store. They're going to be the diameter is I think it's called an M5, so it's like a 5 millimeter bolt. And you just want to make sure you get the right length, which again is about 25 millimeters. So now he's just putting it back together, tightening it back up. You want to make sure that the head unit here is facing up with the bar. You can install it both ways, with either the bar on top or the bar on bottom. If you install with this thing flipped over, it's going to lower you down some more, which we don't want to do. So he's tightening this up, and again, you're not going to have a torque wrench that's going to fit down in there, so we're not going to use one. You just want that really snug, really tight. Okay, now the faceplate's going back on, just swings the bar back over. Uses the same bolts for the faceplate that you used when you took them off. One thing that you're going to want to do is note the position of the bar's orientation in space leveling wise. So this angle here, kind of up and down, you're going to want to note that before you actually take the whole thing apart, because you're not going to be able to just mark it on its on the stem of the bar like you usually do, because as time changes and as we change your position on the bike a bit more, as we change over the overall kind of level and height of that bar, might actually change that tick mark. So you can't just make a tick mark really along the bar and stem and always have it be the same. So you'll definitely want to mark what the level of this, the angle of that bar is right there. One easy way to do it is if you just measure a given point, if you measure from, say, the bottom of that bar there to the ground before you start, then what you'll be able to do is, actually never mind, since we're changing the height, you're not going to be able to do that. Scratch that. You're just going to have to go off the angle of the bar. I left that level there that I got last time. If you just use that, you can kind of measure, put the level on top of the bar itself, right in that position. It'll give you a good idea for what that angle is, that relative angle. So now he's just tightening that back up, and once he's got him snug, then he's going to be all good to go.